if you could think about the the Google tools that you are most familiar with, it's multiple choice, and just indicate the tools that you use the most or have used. We would just like to see show what you know.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. The votes are coming in. We've got about 75% voted. So thank you for that quick turnaround.
Thank you.
I'm going to say that overwhelmingly it's Gmail, and then most people have a pretty good understanding of Google Docs. Forms and slides are coming in a little less. I'm going to end the poll now and share the results. So slides is the least familiar, and Julie is going to be talking more about how to use slides during this presentation. So thank you for participating in the poll. Did you see the results? Okay, thanks. Okay, so this session is going to briefly go over some Google tools. Google Drive, Gmail, Forms, Slides, and Docs. Next slide, please, Julie. We will talk about the G Suite, which is the Google tools. We use it in the districts to promote collaboration among students and their teachers. The great thing about this platform is students can work at home, at school, and they don't even have to be using their district issued device because they can use their unique username and password to sign in from any device anywhere. We'll review the tools, and I am Jennifer Browning. I teach 5th grade at Irving. Julie King is a 4th grade teacher at Lincoln, and Sarah Williams is from home. She is also a 4th grade teacher. Google Drive is the place where everything can be stored and synced. They can access all their files, they can save email attachments, share and search for files, and collaborate on projects with others. A lot of times students click the Drive icon and they forget how to add a new document or a new folder. So the plus sign in the bottom corner is always going to be where they'll get the pop-up box that you see, and they can either create a new folder. I ask that my students do that very early on, and they do a math folder and a language arts folder and folders for any subjects where they know they're going to be creating a lot of documents, just to help keep them organized. Next slide, please, Julie. Gmail, every student in the district has a Gmail because we use the unique district username and password. So most students have, for example, it would be the first letter of their first name and 3 letters of their last name and some numbers followed by @students.op97.org. And their unique district password would also be their password for Gmail. Most of them are a funny 2-number combination with some funny words like 61 flip dog or 25 top dog. That would get them into their Gmail account. They cannot email people outside of the district, but can email any teachers and students who are within the domain of the district. We also use Google Forms as a way to make surveys and sometimes use it for formative and summative quizzes and tests that we give students because it's a quick way to gather data, and we can share the data through spreadsheets that automatically load into the Google Drive. So Julie is going to take over now and really focus on the Google Slides.
All right, thank you, Jen, and welcome everybody. Since Google Slides is probably what was one of the parts of Google platform that people were least familiar with, we're going to give you a little overview of just some of the basics in Google Slides and how you can help your children or our students. And so Google Slides, if you're not familiar, is basically PowerPoint. The new trending word for Google Slides is to make a deck. So if you hear a deck, they are referring to a slideshow or PowerPoint. And the main uses for Google Slides are to show knowledge of something that you have learned or you're going to teach others about, and just a way to present information to your peers, because you can put on the slide text or pictures or links to things and videos and so many other different things. What's really neat about Google Slides is you can collaborate with others and have students at different locations working on the same slideshow on a group project. And I have a feeling, but I could be wrong, that this will be a common platform for teachers to present information to students, whether it be math lessons, reading, writing, phonics, whatever the lessons are going to be. And with Google Slides, they're both pretty user-friendly, but they are different on the iPad and the Chromebook. So the first thing I'm going to do is go through how it's going to look on the iPad, and then I'm going to show how it's going to look on a Chromebook or any computer that you log in on. So before I start that, I just put here some examples of what you could see. These are slides that have been created by 4th grade students. Just from some different projects. Some of these were done during remote learning in the spring, and others were done during the school year. So they could use it to present information, share what they learned, and even to communicate with other people. So first I'm going to go over a little bit about how Google Slides will work on the iPad.
I'm going to start by showing you how to create a slideshow and add contributors to the slideshow. So the first thing you'll do is you'll find the Slides app and you will open it. And then on the bottom right, you'll see a little plus sign. So whenever you need to make a new slideshow, you'll press the little plus sign and you can pick new presentation. And at this point, it will ask you for a name of the presentation. So in this case, I'll just call this one Parent University. And now my slideshow has been created. And then the first thing that we want to encourage our students to do is to add the teacher and any student collaborators to it. So to do that, you press the little person with the plus sign towards the top right of the screen. And then this box will show up. And here you can type in someone's email address, or students can type in others' names. And when you start to type in a name, you'll see that the students in D97 will show up and they can just tap on who they want to share it with. And when they're done, you press the little paper airplane symbol, and now you have your collaborators added on to the slideshow. To add more slides to the slideshow, what I will do is I'll open up the slideshow I'm working on. And on the left-hand side will be all the slides that are currently in the slideshow. And at the bottom down there is a little slide with a plus sign, and I'll just tap it. And then you'll see that there's some different formats of slides the students can choose. And I'll just go ahead and I can add a couple slides to my slideshow. If I need to delete a slide, I simply gently press one finger on the slide I want to delete. This bar will show up on top, and I can press the trash can and I can delete a slide I no longer need.
The final little video is kind of like the bulk of what the work is. It's the fun part the kids like to do with formatting and just how to actually add information.
Now I'm going to show you how to write on a slide, change the background, and just a few of the other basic features of Google Slides. So once you're in the slideshow, in order to type in a text box that is already there, you can simply double tap on the text box you want to type in, and the cursor and keyboard will show up. On the top are some of the different formatting options. So if I want to change the color of my text, I could tap the A and I'll choose red for what I'm going to type. If I want to make it bold. And the other thing you can do is you can press on the right side, there's an A with some lines next to it. If you tap over there, a lot of the same things will show up, including how to change the font. So I can change the font to a different font. I can make it a little bigger if I want to, and then I can go ahead and type in my information. So then I'll go to the next text box and I'll add some information there. And in this case, I'm gonna maybe make a bulleted list. So I'll put a bullet point and I can add some information about the Chicago Cubs to my slideshow. All right, so then if I want to add a picture to the slide, what I can do is I can press the plus sign on the top right and a bunch of different options will show up, and I can add an image. I can either take a picture or I can use my photos that are on my iPad currently. So in this case, I'll add a photo that's already on my iPad. I can change the shape of it and move it around a little bit. Then I can press the check mark when I am done. If I want to change the background color of the slide, what I do is I gently hold down the slide I want to change. And on the top right, you'll see a square with a little paint can. You'll tap there. I can change the background color. They have some kind of nice ones there. So I'll go ahead and change it to that blue background. So that's just some basics of how to add an image, to add text, change the text, and to change the background of the slide.
So that's the general overview of what it looks like on the iPad. But when students use Google Slides on a Chromebook, it's just a little bit different. It's still very user-friendly. And so what happens is when you're in the drive, you press the new button on the top left, and then a little box will show up, and then you just have to press Slides, Google Slides, and then you can make your new slideshow. And then the screen will kind of look like this. And so in this case, the students are not prompted to change the title, so it's really important that they change the title of their slideshow. And then to add collaborators, you press the share button on the top right, the little box will show up, and they can add who they are going to be collaborating with. And then a lot of the formatting things are, again, are very just user friendly. So you can add more slides, you can change the theme of the slideshow, and you just use some of the directions that are right on top for changing the background. Insert would be a very popular option if you want to add like a text box or a picture. And on the computer, you can even add videos as well. And that's just the general overview of kind of how to use slides and some of the common questions that students will have when we first get started. So I'm going to hand it over to Ms. Williams now, Sarah, to do the Google Docs part of our presentation. And I have to unmute you. There we go.
Thank you, Julie. Good evening, everyone. Google Slides is so much fun and the students love it. Google Docs is what I'm going to talk about. It's not as much fun, but it's definitely the workhorse of our tools. We use it to create, edit, and store documents online. We use it to collaborate with peers on a shared document and to receive and respond asynchronous teacher feedback. And as you can imagine, that's going to be really important during remote learning. So Docs is generally used when sentences and paragraphs are in order. Here are two examples. The two on the left were created by fourth graders. The third example is something you might see during remote learning. Your student's teacher might use a Google Doc to create an assignment, and teachers can then send an individual copy of this assignment page to every student. Students type in their answers and then submit it to the teacher for review. And honestly, it's the remote version of a student turning in a paper at the end of a lesson period. Here's a very quick video on how to get started.
Julie, I think you have to unmute for us to hear.
Sign in the bottom right.
Sorry about that.
New document. You'll need to name the document and create. The document appears and the typing field should be ready. If by chance the keyboard isn't visible, have your student double tap on the white space. The keyboard should pop up. The student can start typing and they can use the toolbar across the top to help them format the document. To edit, students can use the stylus or their finger to place the cursor at the spot where they need to make changes. Google Docs automatically saves the changes, and so there's no need to click a separate save button. It's always auto-saved. Now imagine your student has finished their work on the Google Doc for the day. It's time for them to exit. There are two steps we ask. One, the student should use the sharing settings to share with whomever their teacher has asked them to share with. Here's how to share. They go to the three dots on the upper right, open the menu, share and export, share. Students are going to need to type in the Gmail account for whomever they're sharing with in Oak Park 97. Go ahead and share, confirm, and that part is done. Now it's time to exit. We're going to click the check mark next to the title that takes us to this arrow. And here we are back in the menu, and you'll see that the document we created is listed across the very top. So we've done a quick demo of how to create, edit, share, and store Google Docs on the iPad.
Thank you. Alrighty, so I wanted to just really quickly show everyone how the comment tool is going to be used during remote learning. We're going to rely on it a lot for collaboration.
Oh, it did it again. Hold on. That's so weird. Let me do this one more time. All right, there we go.
One of the best reasons to use Google Docs is that students can collaborate with each other, or they can have a formative back and forth with the teacher. Once the document is shared among different users, students can use the comment feature to either put comments onto a shared document or to receive comments from a peer or a teacher. The comments are shown by the highlighted text. So to read a comment, students will touch the highlighted text and the comment will pop up. Students are asked not to simply click resolve. Instead, they're asked to digest the comment, think about it, and make changes if possible. In this situation, I'm going to reply to my teacher and say, oh, collaboration also helps me learn. So there's my response to the comment. I'm going to click the click button. And that's going to go back and my teacher can read that, and then we'll decide if it's something that can be added to the document. If I have a comment on someone else's document, I highlight the text that I want to have the comment, click add comment, and then I can add my comment here, whatever it may be. And my collaborator will see my work. So as you can see, this back and forth is perfect for an asynchronous learning environment. Students can be working on the same document at the same time, but they don't have to be, and we still get the benefits of collaboration and teacher feedback.
Last, I just want to assure parents that we teachers are going to teach and help support students with the etiquette required for using these tools and for being on the internet. For instance, with slides and docs, we're going to help them understand how to share with collaborators and teachers, how to use the comment tool rather than to just type over a classmate's work, which is never good, how to follow copyright rules, demonstrate appropriate digital citizenship, and in general, will help and support them in understanding how to adhere to our district acceptable use of technology policy.
So I know this seems like a lot of information, and any student who is doing this for the first time will get a very thorough explanation from their teacher on how to use these tools. And I'm always so surprised how tech savvy they become so quickly and teach us all the time when they're using these tools. Oh, did you know you could do this? So they will also be participating in a boot camp where they will learn how to appropriately use their devices or get a refresh if they've already had it on acceptable uses and appropriate ways to navigate through the device. Your classroom teachers will definitely be communicating with you on the most commonly used apps and Google tools that your students will be expected to become proficient at. But please feel free to email your students' teachers if when they come home, there are questions that you or they have about any of these tools. The help desk is also there for you if you're having any technical issues with the tools and the devices. And Google has a really good platform for help as well. If you just type in your search bar Google Help, they have videos and tutorials as well. We really appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedules to join us and hope that your remote learning and school year start off really well. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.